morning. It is Saturday. It is the 8th of April and it's about 27 minutes past 7. So it's Saturday, and on Saturday I said I wanted to talk about showing up because alliteration, it's showing up Saturday. So, well, there's two things I want to talk about today. So, first off, I don't have my microphone on, so let me turn that on. Okay, microphone on. So there's two things I want to talk about today. First is, I mentioned on Monday that I was starting this elimination diet. I did. So Monday through Friday lunchtime, I basically ate nothing but sweet potato, broccoli, eggs, fish, nuts, apples, leafy greens. So that was the limit of what I was allowing myself to eat, and it was working. I felt great. I was waking up in the morning, I wasn't stiff. Throughout the day I was able to sit on the couch or sit at the table, and I could, usually if I sit for 10-20 minutes more, I have a little bit of stiffness when I'm standing up. Nothing. More or less completely gone. So it was working. Now, something that Dan John always says is that when something works, we tend to stop doing it. And that's what I did. And it was an interesting experiment. So last night, it is Easter on Sunday, and last night I hit an Easter egg pretty hard. It was big. It was a lot of chocolate. It was delicious. And I also had a takeaway. Now, I did want to, regardless of the elimination diet, I did want to eat, I did want to eat one meal a week. That could be like a restaurant meal or something like that. So last night we got a thigh, and it wasn't anything crazy. It was just rice, vegetable curry, a bit of tofu. So I think that was fine. It felt pretty light. But afterwards we hit the egg, and this morning I am stiff as shit. My spine, all the way up and down my spine. I mean, just trying to extend it there, like it's very uncomfortable. My hips being sore. I've actually got like pain scores in my journal that I've been tracking all week, and they were all 0 for my hips today. Feeling a bit spicy down there. My toe, it's pretty normal, but I actually wasn't really feeling my toe much this week. And that's feeling that as well. So sugar, I've often said that I'm more or less allergic to sugar. So if you've got arthritis and you're eating a lot of sugar, it might be worth looking at that. It's not a perfect experiment. I'd be interested to see if I'd only eaten the thigh, what I would have felt like today. But I don't think it was a vegetable curry from the thigh. I think it was the obscene amount of chocolate that we ate afterwards. So yeah, back on the elimination diet today. I actually had to take a painkiller this morning, which it had been weeks really since I'd taken a painkiller. I also kind of wonder, when you're really on top of diet, exercise, all that good stuff, and then you do have some sort of binge, is it much worse? Right? Like, let's say I'd eaten a bit of sugar consistently for 5 days, would I be feeling similar or even kind of lower levels of stiffness versus one big binge where you're kind of going across a really low level and then boom, huge spike? So yeah, sugar, that stuff is poison. And this Easter, I got a bunch of nieces and nephews. They're all getting money for me. I'm not going to contribute to feeding them more sugar. They might use that money to buy sugar, but that's on them, right? But they're kids, they don't know, but they're going to get an egg from everybody, but not from me. So that's the sugar. And what has that got to do with showing up? Well, I mentioned the other day, your arthritis is going to show up every day regardless of what you do, so you got to show up as well. Yesterday I didn't show up. yesterday I let it slip, and it's not bad. This isn't. At least I don't think it makes me like a bad person or something like that, right? It just happens. But there are consequences, and it's not that there are consequences to not showing up and to having your discipline slip. It's more that there are benefits to discipline and benefits to consistency, and you lose those benefits when you don't show up, right? So I don't want to think of it as failure or some big overtly negative thing. We have these slips when we're trying to be disciplined and consistent. What's important is what you do afterwards, right? So do you get up the next day and say, oh God, it's all over, I may as well just go eat like shite now, I failed, I'm a failure? Do you go into that mindset, that way of thinking? Or do you say, I had a slip and I'm back at it today? And I am back at it today. I've had people say to me plenty of times, I really admire your discipline, and I kind of have to remind them, like, is it really about discipline? I don't think it's as much about discipline as it is about pain management. And if you had this kind of pain as a motivator, it would probably be a bit easier for you too. So yeah, back to showing up today. On the diet front, of course, we've been showing up every day. On the walking front, that's nearly 2 weeks now. I guess Tuesday will be 2 weeks. So the other thing I wanted to talk about with regards to consistency and discipline and showing up is my journal. And I'm probably going to splice over some journal footage now where I show you my journal. So every January, I buy one of these diaries. It's one of those day-by-day diaries, so each page is one day. And every day I write down, like, I go for a walk, so I'll write down walk, 20 minutes. If I go to the gym, I'll write down my workout. Whatever workout I did, I have my own little kind of format I use for writing down my workouts, where I write down the exercise, I write down the number of reps. I do a little squiggly bracket and then the number of sets. So track my workout for the day. If I'm not working out that day, it's a rest day. I'm sorry, somebody's loading a truck, so sorry about that noise, it was probably horrible. So if I'm taking a rest day, I'll just write rest. And I have, at this point, I'll stack them up here, 5 years of these journals. And that's 5 years of consistency, that's 5 years of showing up. I'm kind of tracking what I'm doing. I can look back to 4 years ago and see, right, I was overhead pressing this amount of weight, and now I know I'm pressing more now, and it feels like progress, it feels good. And I think this is easily the most important piece of health and fitness equipment that I own. And I say that because this is like a 5-year streak essentially now. I don't want to break this streak, right? I don't want to have a week where I've no entries in my journal, unless the week just says holiday across the pages, right? So it's a motivational tool in of itself. So that's where the value is. I've got history, and I mean, you could track this digitally, sure, but I prefer the diaries. I like my pen and paper. There's something about the routine, the ceremony of having a pen and every day kind of getting up and writing down, did a walk, did this workout, how I was feeling, some days as well, like if I'm lifting in the gym and I'm feeling weak, or not weak, very negative way to look at it. If I'm not feeling as strong, I'll write that down. If I am feeling strong, I'll write that down, and it can be interesting to look back and see, how you go through waves and periods where you're feeling strong or not so strong, or for me, sore or not sore. So if there's one thing, and John, I do always recommend this to people, but if you're looking to work out, if you're looking to get on top of health, fitness, strength, that sort of thing, I think you should buy one of these diaries and start your own collection. it feels pretty good to have 5 years of the things. So yeah, that's my recommendation. Consistency, showing up, start taking notes, write things down, get on top of it, and show up every day. And that's all I've got for today. But I'm going to wrap up with some very special footage of my cat Mona. So enjoy that, and talk to you tomorrow. I think the weather's nice, it's a lovely morning again. So hopefully it's nice tomorrow. Maybe I'll go back up the same hiking spot I went last Sunday and record some nice footage up there. So yeah, Silent Sunday tomorrow. I'll try to go somewhere scenic, and until then, have a great day. Thanks for joining me. See you later. Mona. Go for a walk.